Plaintiff Eugene Wilmore says the defendant is his daughter, and their relationship was good until she married her husband, who's with her in court today. Eugene claims the defendant's husband is extremely controlling, and Eugene is suing his daughter for utility bills. Defendant Shahida Ellis admits that her husband is headstrong, but says she married him for better or for worse. Shahida also admits that Eugene has helped her out in the past, but insists she has helped him out too.
Start with you.
Your Honor, Shahida's my daughter, and we've always had a good relationship, and I love her dearly. About 5.5, 6 years ago, she married the gentleman here that's her husband now, and things start to change. Things start to change.
How so?
Well, Your Honor, Ab here is controlling. He has told me that everything in his house is done his way. If they get into an argument or she does something he doesn't like, he won't take her to work, he won't pick her up, he won't take the children to daycare, and I get the call. Dad, can you pick me up and take me to work? Can you pick me up? Would you mind taking the...
Does that happen?
Sometimes, yes.
Plaintiff Eugene Wilmore says the defendant is his daughter, and their relationship was good until she married her controlling husband, who's with her in court today.
Yeah, I can see how you have a problem with it. You don't have to go any further with it. I get you now. What about with your daughter, the relationship? I know you say she changed and you believe it's because of her husband, but what about your relationship with her and the other members of the family?
I've been in her life and she's been in mine since she's 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We were always a close family.
But the two of you haven't fallen out up until this time?
Pardon me, sir?
You haven't fallen out other than this
definitely,
instance?
Definitely.
Regularly? How often?
Not regularly, but we've fallen out
You get
about...
to her because you won't tell me about the relationship. Go ahead, ma'am. Let me hear from you.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hi.
This is my father, and I'm here today based off of a strained relationship that we've had.
How long?
About 2.5 months, maybe a little bit longer,
Okay,
based
good.
off
If
of the
that's
things
all,
that's been happening.
good.
Other than that, he's been in my life since I was 12. He's all I've known since he's married my mother, took me and my sister in like we were his own.
See, she talk better about you than you talk about yourself.
Well, you're intimidating.
No, I'm not.
Where
all from?
Philadelphia.
Oh, ain't nobody intimidating nobody from Philly. No, sir, you're not intimidating you all. Go ahead.
Before we get into that part, the part that he spoke about with my husband, when I married my husband, I married him as he did marry my mother, for better or worse. And in his religion and my religion, it says, you forsake all others for your husband or your wife. Yes, my husband can be very headstrong, and that's what family does for each other. If I need to call my dad in the time of need, I call my dad. If I need to call my mom in my time of need, I call my mom, which very much so. If I need them, I call them. And, as my father and my mother, they've always been there to be able to help me, whether, my husband is there or not.
Okay.
That's my mom and dad.
All I can tell you
them.
this, and this is for you and your husband to understand, that when you all, or he in particular, refuses to take the children to preschool or daycare as a retaliation against you, which essentially is retaliation against them, that could be considered abuse and neglect. So you neglect attending to the needs of your child. Clearly it's a need because that's what you all have been paying for. And suddenly you say, well, I ain't taking them because I'm mad. That's neglect and abuse.
I
But go ahead. Just cautionary tale when you're calling your dad or not calling him. He says you do call him about that, and you should call him about neglect and abuse. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. And you were saying you honor your husband and honor his wishes.
Yes.
And go ahead.
I'll go back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When we first moved into the home at my father's house, when my father and mother got back together, because they broke up for a while. My mother and father got back together. He asked us if we wanted to move into the house because we were living somewhere else. when we moved into the house, he agreed to be able to take care of any major things that would happen in the home, i.e. the boiler, the roof, anything major that would happen in the house. And my dad really didn't have to put anything into the house because we did everything.
Okay. In what way? What did you put it
So the
into?
boiler, the hot water tank broke. We fixed it. Garbage disposal broke. We fixed it. My dad told us early on, he's not a landlord. However, if anything major was to happen in the home, that he would be there to be able to help us with it.
How much did that cost? Those two things. It doesn't sound like it costs more than a couple $100.
No, but any repairs that happened in the house, we fixed it.
Okay.
As well as.
And how much you pay in rent again?
Oh, we paid $590, almost $600. It fluctuated.
Okay.
Based on what? Because everything was still in his name. So it fluctuated with the mortgage. The mortgage fluctuated.
All right.
Plaintiff Eugene Wilmore says the defendant is his daughter, and their relationship was good until she married her controlling husband, who's with her in court today.
Let me hear from you, sir, regarding the money. You're suing her about utility bills.
Yes,
Tell me about that.
Your Honor, I'm suing her for a total of $2,353, a $656.42 water bill, and a $1,696.35 gas bill.
Tell me how that was run up so high.
Well, Shahida was saying that, they fixed everything in the house. Your Honor, they tore my house up. Now, they did fix the water bill, the water tank. However, when they moved in, I explained to them that I could have gotten $1,300 a month for my house in the area of Philadelphia it was.
Oh, you didn't live there with them?
No, sir. No, sir. But I told them at the time her husband was trying to find himself. So he was trying to find the right job.
What part of Philly you in?
South Philadelphia. A whole lot of regentrification and all of that's going on. And I told them, I said, listen, you're having a hard time. The man's getting ready to go up on your rent. You can move in my house. Just pay. I don't need anything. Just pay the mortgage and the utilities.
Got that. Let's get to the utilities. When you ask about them, what has she told you about paying them?
In March, Shahida called me and said they were buying a house. I asked her, I said, well, are y'all taking care of everything? She said yes.
Have you received anything since then?
Excuse me?
Have you received
not a dime
anything since then?
Not a dime.
All right, ma'am, you tell me about the utility bills he's suing for.
If I could back up just a little bit, in 2014 when we moved in the home, I smelled gas in the home. And when I smelled gas in the house, I called the utility company, I called the gas company, and they came out and changed the meter. They discovered that he put a magnet on the meter to slow the meter down, and they sent me the bill, and which was still in his name at the time. They sent me the bill, and it was over $3,000. He gave me money towards it, but I ate it because that's my dad. And the thing about it is, when I said something to him about it, he was like, I don't have it. I'm not putting him there. I'm gonna give you the money for this. I ate it. I never complained about it. I never went to him anymore about it. And when I
understand,
when
you're
I
saying
changed,
the bill was there before you moved in?
No, sir, no. What I'm saying was,
what are you talking about? You ate it. It was your bill. How was it not your bill?
No, sir, it wasn't my bill. But when I moved into the house, they billed me for when they took the magnet off. When they discovered that he put a magnet on the meter.
Let's go over this again because that's the exact question I just asked you.
Plaintiff Eugene Wilmore says the defendant is his daughter, and their relationship was good until she married her controlling husband, who's with her in court today.
When you moved in, was there a balance?
No, there was not a balance.
Okay, let's move on. Did you ever agree to pay him?
Agreed to pay him for what?
What he's suing you for.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what's your defense today if you agreed to pay him?
So when I first had agreed to pay him, I asked him if he could help us out with refinancing the
And what did he say?
He said that he didn't have it to be able to do it.
Okay, so next. He didn't have an obligation to you. Why haven't you paid him his money?
I don't feel like I should have had to pay him the money.
You just said you did.
I agree,
Have
but
a good day, ma'am. Judgment for the plaintiff. You agree that you owe him. You said you owe him. Now you change your mind. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Well, just, as far as my daughter's concerned, I love her, and I want us to get some type of relationship back. Her and I talked every day, 4 or 5 times a week for years. And now our relationship is estranged over money, and more than the money is for me, the deceit that the money was owed. He'll tell you, I've lent them money, I've helped them out when I could. And if they would have told me, we wouldn't be here.
I just wish that it wasn't where he blamed my husband for a lot of things, because, my husband loves him just as much as I do. And I just hope that we all can be able to mend our relationship the same way it was before. And even with everything that he's saying about the money, I just want it to be over.